Welcome back to the Amateur Ball Podcast with Simon and Max. Last time we went over the all amateur bowl bus team of the 2010s. Simon, I got to be honest with you, I cringed so hard.
Yeah, me and my boy Flamingo had a great time constructing that team.
Oh my God! Just give a shout out to the Browns and their drafting. That was the entire video. Yep. Just shout out to the Browns.
Yeah. Like good third of the team was Browns. Anyways, Max, why are we here today?
Well, here today for this episode, we are talking about the all amateur bowl meme team of the 2010s, and this one will be a lot more fun than the last one, where we're going to be doing a lot of cringing and crying. This time, we're going to be doing a lot of laughing and also cringing
and crying.
So it'll be good cringing. Yeah, I can't guarantee that, but yeah, we'll laugh, and the Browns will definitely be on this one, so we're good. Yeah. Anyways, let's jump right into it. If you haven't seen the all bus team, go ahead and check that out. It was the last episode, and let's just dive right into it, starting with the quarterback. Yeah. This one was tough.
I don't know if it's episode more than a segment, but just go check it out anyways. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Simon did a lot of research, and he did a great job.
Thank you. I'm hoping yours will be just as great, even though I'm confident it will be better.
It'll be more fun, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. Speaking of fun, at quarterback, I have a lot of honorable mentions because this was tough to decide. You've got Mr. Jorts Man, Gardner Minshew. Mm-hmm. You've got Mr. Butt Fumble, Mark Sanchez. You've got Mr. Pastor, Tim Tebow, who is, by the way, I've seen some clips, not the greatest of pastors. His sermons are a little dry, just a bit.
Yeah.
And lastly, Mr. Dog, Michael Vick. Of all of the quarterbacks, there's one meme that just is a cut above all of those memes, and that is Nathan Peter meme. Oh, Mr. 5 interceptions in the first quarter of his first game, Peter meme. I'm sorry, Bills. I'm sorry, Bills fans. You got roasted with the CJ Spiller pick last time, and you're getting roasted with Peterman this time.
You know what? It's okay. It happens.
He had so many chances to redeem himself too. People forget that, but oh my God, he kept throwing to the other team.
He's not as bad as Jameis Winston, though. Give him that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least Winston can throw to his team. So, moving on to the running backs, we have two running backs. Our first one is Mr. Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch.
Only here so I don't get fined.
Oh, and get fined, did he? He definitely did. He's been fined a lot, yeah. And the second running back on this list is the guy that I love, Lamar Jackson. Best running back in the NFL.
And for those of you who missed it, go back and watch. I think it's his MVP speech at the NFL Awards, where he went up and said, "Not bad for a running back."
Yeah, he really shut up those haters who said that he was only a runner by who would have thought running more, right? But he also passed a bit. So got to give him credit there. He was a good quarterback last year, and he's only in his second year. He's only growing. So Super Bowls for the Ravens.
How can you hate Lamar Jackson? Anyway, sorry, I won't cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you can't. He's a great guy, or at least he seems like a great guy. You never really know. Anyways, with the wide receivers, we have Josh Where Am I Gordon, who was a very, very good wide receiver. Who did lead the league in receiving yards in 2013. However, he was suspended indefinitely in 2014 for his use of marijuana, which is violating the substance abuse policy, and he was out for 3 years. You know how hard it is to get suspended from the league for 3 years? It's pretty hard. Yeah. And he did it for smoking weed. So that's why he gets the spot. And the other one goes to another great wide receiver, Antonio Brown. All I'm going to say is he gave himself the nickname Mr. Big Chest. I think that's enough. That's enough. Yeah, nobody calls that.
Gate. What else was it? Yeah. Anyways, just a mess. He's a mess.
Yeah. Unfortunately, nobody calls him Mr. Big Chest. Everyone just calls him Crazy. So let's move on to our tight ends. And I couldn't give this to anybody else but Rob Gronkowski. Gronk is our meme tight end.
He's
the
our
watermelon
boy.
spiker himself, Mr. 69.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give that a celebratory. Nice.
Yeah. For those of you who need further explanation on why we might have chosen him, or why Max chose him, just watch his the video clips of him on YouTube during his retirement. They are hilarious.
Dude knows how to kick it back. Keep it real.
Yeah. I want to go on his party cruise. Looks like a lot of fun.
I wish, man. I wish I got the invite. And to round out the O-line, we have, starting off, a current Raider, Richie Incognito, who has been suspended for bullying a teammate, for yelling out racial slurs during a playoff game, and for all around being a nuisance. He doesn't really like black people, does he, Simon?
No, he doesn't. He does not.
Yeah. Our other two interior linemen are two guys that have never played interior linemen in their careers. However, because of how much weight they've put on over their careers, they might as well move there.
That's cruel. That is so
those
cruel.
Are Mr. McDonald's Eddie Lacy and Mr. Burger King Kelvin Benjamin, who have really, really hit their potential weight.
Thick.
That's one way to put it, that's for sure. And to round out the O-line, we have our guys protecting Mr. Peter Meme, Taylor Lewan and Laramie Tunsil. Taylor Lewan is just an absolute character. Great flow, great facial hair, great fighter. He is one fired up dude. He's always the most fired up guy on the field any given time. And some of his post-game interviews are hilarious. So give those a check. And Laramie Tunsil, who when he was supposed to be drafted about 3rd overall, was hacked, and a picture of him wearing a weed gas mask went up.
Oh,
and
yes.
Apparently that's enough of a character issue for him to drop 13th overall, despite having top 5 talent. He played very well for the Dolphins. Then he got paid big by the Texans. And then he rewarded the Texans by leading the league in false start penalties. So good job, Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, good for him. That's good.
Yeah.
We love that.
All right. Yeah. And let's plow through the defense, because we've been spending some time on the offense. They're a lot of fun. Those are some fun characters in the offense, aren't they, Simon?
Sure.
We're going with a 3-4 defense here, and our D-line consists of Mr. Overall's Vince Wilfork, big man, really, really good player. Check him out on Hard Knocks because he was very funny. Mr. Big Free Agent Albert Hainsworth, who was signed to a big contract in free agency by the Washington Redskins, 7 years, $100 million, and he was traded for a 5th-round pick 2 years later and was waived immediately after the trade. So if that's not an indicator of how that deal went, I don't think there's any other way to say that. He is seen as the greatest free agency bust of all time. Next we have Donkey Kong Sue.
Oh, good. I love him.
Yep. Good player, but just anger issues. Has stomped on players, has been fined for saying things, has been fined for doing things. He's had a lot of fines, hasn't he?
Yes, he is pretty well known for being a complete ass.
Yeah, which sucks, because he was a top 3 pick in his draft and a very good player. Now on to our line. Yeah.
Good player.
On to our linebackers. We have, starting off with our Bengals fuck ups, we have Vontaze Burfict, who is currently a free agent, who was similar to the Ndamukong Suh, has been fined a lot over his career for on-field issues, for a few for
Being-
off-field issues, and for nearly decapitating Antonio Brown. Which,
Big chest.
yeah, which I think the entire league was somewhat okay with, but because it was Vontaze Perfect, nope. Next on our linebackers list, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, that penalty on Antonio Brown put the Steelers in field goal range, which allowed them to win a playoff game that they had no business winning. But we'll get into that a little bit more later. Next on our linebackers list is Aldon Smith. Sorry, did I interrupt you there?
No. Go for it.
Okay, sorry about that. Aldon Smith, who is on this list, not because of his play. He was a good player. He had a lot of injuries. He had some off-field issues. But the big off-field issue I want to talk about is reporting a false bomb threat in a Los Angeles airport.
We love that.
Why don't players just get arrested for normal stuff? Right?
Yeah.
Why don't you rob a bank or something? Why do you have to do this?
If you're an NFL player, you have to take it to the extreme. You can't just do it. You have to full send it.
Yeah. Seriously. Speaking of why can't players get arrested for normal things, we have Reuben Foster coming in next at linebacker, who was released by the Niners after reports of him beating his girlfriend/wife. I'm not really sure which one. He beat a woman, which is bad. And he immediately got picked up by the Redskins directly afterwards, which the Redskins took a lot of heat for, again, just like the Albert Hainsworth signing. And his first day of training camp, tears his ACL. If that's not karma, I don't know what is. Sometimes life is beautiful, you know? The Redskins get screwed, Reuben Foster gets screwed, and everybody else rejoices. It's great. And I hate to put this guy on blast, but our last linebacker, his name is Manti Te'o. He's currently a free agent, and his story was very well known about 6-7 years ago in his draft year. Simon, if you were a projected first round pick in the NFL, you'd realistically think you could get whatever girl you want, right?
Yes, of course. I'm a pro athlete.
Or multiple, honestly.
Yep.
Right. Yep. So this guy Manti Te'o was in a relationship with a girl he had never met. And they were communicating over Facebook, and then he got a report that she died. Truth was, she didn't actually die because she didn't actually live. She never existed. Dude got catfished.
Oh, poor guy.
And I'm sorry because he hasn't done anything meme-worthy since, but I'm sorry, that's a meme.
Yeah, just to put this in perspective, poor Manti Te'o. But I can't remember when he was drafted, but I wasn't really watching football at the time. I was a kid who didn't really watch all that many sports, and I still heard about this story. That's how big of a meme this story was.
Really swept the nation.
Yeah, literally.
And going to our defensive backs, the first one, going back to the Cincinnati Bengals, Adam Pac-Man Jones, who after his first or second year, he was suspended for a full year, not for violating the league's drug policy, but for violating the league's personal conduct policy after a little incident he had at a strip club. Again, you're an NFL player. Why do you need to go to a strip club? You have whatever girl you want at a normal nightclub or a bar or hell, just Tinder. You can do very well. You can do very well. Oh, I guess it was 2007, but still, you could do very well for yourself. You can still do very well for yourself. You don't have to go to a strip club. You don't have to fucking shoot a guy at a strip club and paralyze him.
Yeah.
And he's had a lot of off the field issues. He's been fined and suspended a lot, and he pushed a referee in that game against the Cincinnati Bengals, further pushing the Pittsburgh Steelers into field goal territory to win a game that they had no business winning, a playoff game.
Yep.
Anyways.
Another 15 yards.
Yeah. The next defensive back isn't really a meme because he's actually a very good player because he actually led the league in interceptions last year.
Oh.
2019. Yeah. The only thing is he is a meme because it's Jameis Winston. He threw 30 of them.
That's so bad. I don't hate the guy, but that's so bad.
Yeah, and I'm putting him at defensive back. What are you going to do about it? He deserves it. And honestly, I like him as a player. I think he gets a bad rap. I like him, but he deserves to be here. He's a meme. With all the pictures surfacing of him throwing the ball with his eyes closed, he kind of deserves it.
Yeah.
Yep. Our next defensive back is another guy that just has to be on this list, Richard Sherman.
Oh, for sure.
For those of you that don't know Richard Sherman, which I'm sure most of you do, he is the best corner in the game because when you try him with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that is the result you're going to get. So, don't you ever talk about me. I was watching that live. I was freaked out. He was staring into my soul. He was staring into my soul. He ran away from Aaron Andrews. Yeah, he ran away from Aaron Andrews after that. Like, who runs away from Aaron Andrews, right? Like it's probably a pretty big honor to get interviewed by someone who's been around for so long.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, and he's got a big attitude. Great player, but a bit of an ego too. Stanford grad, so he's smarter than Simon and I combined. You know, it's just the way it goes sometimes. And to round out the defense, I want to talk about this guy named Eugene Robinson, who hasn't been around for a long time. Not very well known. Simon knows because we've been over this once. Simon.
Yeah.
Let's put in a hypothetical.
Okay.
So there is a player that has just won the Bart Starr Award in 1999 for outstanding contributions to the community and outstanding character. Correct?
Right.
Yeah, that award's still around today. He won it in 1999, and he was about to play in the Super Bowl. The Atlanta Falcons were in the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos. They were right about it. They were in Miami, preparing for the Super Bowl, and wouldn't you know it, about not 2-3 days after he receives the award, he gets arrested. Simon, why do you think he would get arrested? What do you think he would do?
Well, this is a very, very tough question because I know if you're thinking man of the year, I know it's probably an ironic thing. So it could be drugs. The drugs, probably not. Maybe not. No. I'm going to go with prostitution.
Well, Simon, you would be absolutely correct. Eugene Robinson was caught soliciting a prostitute who happened to be an undercover cop in Miami a few days before the Super Bowl. And again, that is meme worthy. I'm sorry, but that's meme worthy.
Yeah, like
I know. So no one's probably talked about Eugene Robinson in a while, but I figured
probably not.
You know, you gotta bring this back up. Like you don't live this down.
You don't question. Have to.
Yeah, you don't live this down. So that's the defense. Our kicker, his name is Sebastian Janikowski. He was drafted in the same year as Tom Brady. His nicknames are both Seabass and the Hefty Lefty because he was a very large man. And every time he kicked the ball, the team that he was on, that time the Raiders, were just scared that every time he'd land on that planting leg, it would just crumble, and he would never be able to kick again. He was a good kicker too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes him enough to be our meme kicker. And our meme punter is just a great all-around guy, great media guy. His name is Pat McAfee. Absolutely hilarious guy. Got a great podcast, just a really funny guy. And, absolutely destroyed a guy once on field. It was pretty awesome.
Yep. And just a quick little plug for Pat McAfee. For those of you who don't know him, there's a clip in the 2019 NFL draft. I'd highly recommend you go watch it. It's hilarious. He basically goes on a rant about how you haven't heard of him because I think it's Indianapolis Colts didn't do a lot of punting against the who was it? The Titans, I think it was. I think that's who he was roasting.
It was the Titans, yeah.
Anyways, go watch it. Very
Yeah,
funny clip.
absolutely. Go watch his podcast, dude. Dude's funny. Dude's really funny.
Yep.
And our coach is Dennis Green, because I would love to see this meme team go up against the Bears, because I feel like Dennis Green would be very prepared against the Bears.
Yeah. Max, do you think they are who he thought they were?
I think he is. I think he would assume that they are what he thought they were, and that's why they would take the damn field. So, to the people that are speaking to him, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass, because they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Bang bang.
All right, and that is our meme team. Our meme team for the 2010s. The honorable mention for every position is Taysom Hill. Shameless plug for Taysom Hill. Dude can play every position, and he can play every position relatively well. The reason he's a meme is because he has played every position.
Does that mean Jalen Hurts is gonna be the new meme once you play?
Everyone assumes he's gonna have that role. I don't know if he is, but I guess only time will tell. There's no other Taysom Hill.
I think the only reason that people are saying is because I think someone in the Eagles organization actually said that that's how he was going to be getting reps like Taysom Hill.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'd be interested to see that. So, anyways, that's our episode for today.
Yep.
Let us know down in the comments which team out of the meme team and the bus team you think would win a game, and what you think the score would be, because I think it would be about 150-0.
Yeah, you literally I literally constructed a team of guys who literally sucked coming out of the draft. Who do you think is gonna win?
Yeah, well, fair enough. And I also have some pretty good players on this team. But anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for putting up with us for these lists, and we'll be coming out with normal length episodes from here on out.
Yeah, for sure. Or and we'll keep throwing in maybe a couple Easter eggs just to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Keep you on your toes during this quarantine time.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll see you next time.
Keep it real.
Stay healthy.